Well, the road to WrestleMania rolled through Seattle on Monday Night Raw with a jam-packed show with a lot of WrestleMania implications. So we found out who's going to emerge as the number one contender to AJ Lee's Intercontinental Championship. We had an interesting segment between Obafemi and Rusev, as well as some more fun stuff with the Vision and a really excellent closing segment with our World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk. So, welcome to the Monday Night Raw podcast, 716 Sports Edition. As always, I am Mike, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill, and we are going to break it all down. So, Sean, how did you like Monday Night Raw?
Well, first off, if Danhausen is watching this, please don't curse us because we definitely don't need that. Um, I mean, this is my favorite time of year. The road to WrestleMania is always a fun time to be a wrestling fan, or specifically a WWE fan. It's basically what you know is the run up to the season finale, and Raw is definitely doing its part, other than a blip here or there, to keep it exciting. The show itself, I greatly enjoyed. I there's a piece of news as well that I'm hoping you and I will talk about, even though it wasn't on the show itself, about Brock. That's going to impact WrestleMania as well. But um, these shows have been great so far, other than that one off one.
Yeah. So, Raw General Manager Adam Pearce called out Seth Rollins to open the show, and after, let's call them theatrics, a dozen or so masked men joined Rollins in the ring. Adam Pearce told Rollins, "Hey, look, don't go to war with the Vision because it's obviously just you. I know you got all these goons with you, but like, look, you are not cleared for medical yet, so you really shouldn't be competing." Before Rollins could say anything, the Vision made their way to the ring without, half of their crew. Paul Heyman from last week, Braun Baker still not back, Bronson Reed still not back. They interrupted, they cut, pretty generic heel promo, just going on after him saying, "We're going to get you." They made their way to the ring, but then the masked men all kind of just ducked out, which caused LA Knight and the Usos to come down for the baby faces to ultimately beat down the heels and kind of send them scurrying off. So I was actually of the mind here that this is where Brock was going to come out. I thought this would have been a perfect opportunity for Brock to come out to kind of even the odds if we are actually going to go in the direction of LA Knight and Brock. But I guess it felt like it was carrying on a little bit too long at the end. So it's kind of like something's going to happen. Braun
Yeah.
Breaker's going to come back. Like something's going to happen here, and like nothing happened, and it was just kind of like, interesting.
So, starting with what you said about LA Knight and Brock, I feel like with the news that we got, that is what we're going to end up seeing for WrestleMania. I think that once Paul Heyman either comes back or is rescued from wherever whatever locker LA Knight currently has him stuffed in, or shipping container wherever he's tied up, I think that he's going to be the one that Brock is sicked on. Especially, like I said, the news came out that apparently Lesnar and Heyman both told WWE that they do not expect them to have him lose before his retirement match, which definitely I have to feel like puts WWE in a bind. Because how many people do you have that you can put him up against outside of LA Knight then? You can't do Gunther and you can't do Obafemi at WrestleMania if Brock is going to win.
or
So
or or probably Braun Breaker too, right? Like if he
yeah,
comes back, because like I don't really know what are we gonna do with Seth, right? Is this just are we just gonna do the Seth Braun Breaker match if Braun Breaker can come back?
I think so. I think Seth and his improv dance troupe will take on Braun Breaker and that at Mania, because I have a
You
feeling the fact they haven't been talking about him or anything, I think he is, knowing him, he's rehabbing probably pretty strong.
you don't think we're gonna do Seth and Brock if Breaker can't come back?
No, we already had Seth versus Brock in the past.
Years ago.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that's a tough one because if Breaker doesn't come back, you're right. Where do you put Seth?
That's the
But then
biggest
that
match.
lead
That's the biggest match for Seth if Breaker can't come back.
So hear me
Actually,
out
wait a
then.
minute. That's the only match for Seth if Breaker can't come back.
Then what do you do with LA Knight? Because you're not going to not have him on the card.
He's in some kind of match against the Vision.
The Vision, I strongly feel like the Vision are going to of Logan Paul and Austin Theory are going to be winning the tag titles from the Usos.
Then maybe it becomes a 3-on-3.
You know what I mean? It
I
does
mean,
make the way that you.
I'm sure that they're planning on Broad Breaker coming back, but like somebody is going to be the odd man out here, right?
You're right.
Like, I do not think you are going to do, if what you said is true, you are not going to do, you're not going to feed Brock Oba or Gunther. You're
Right.
not going to do that. So consider those two out, which I don't even know what we're going to do with like Oba might actually not even be on the show, truthfully. Like Oba might just end up being like he might win the
The
Andre the Giant. To be
exactly.
honest with
That's
you,
what I was just about to
that's
say.
what I think Oba. That's what I honestly think is going to happen with Oba. He's going to win the Andre the Giant.
Yep.
But Gunther aside, because I have no idea what they're going to do with Gunther. Maybe it's the Rey Mysterio thing, like you said. But let's pencil in the Usos versus the two surviving Vision members right now. Then you've got three additional bodies that are in this Vision love triangle right now. Brock, Seth, and LA Knight.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be the odd man out.
Maybe not. Could you do a triple threat?
Why would you do that?
Because say you
Your
get
is a little itchy.
yeah, my Wi-Fi went weird for a sec.
Better now.
So what if you get Seth and Brock, but then because LA Knight is still such an instigator, he finds his way into get out of my way. Finds his way into this match. Like antagonizes Heyman enough that he gets put into the match because of that. Then you could still have because do you want Seth to take another WrestleMania loss? Because he's taken a few.
Well, so where did you hear this report that Brock wants to win?
It's been all over the place. If you look, it's been reported on a ton of different things.
Because I've not seen that. I've not seen it anywhere. I mean, I follow a
It's
lot of
on,
wrestling YouTube, but I don't have
yeah,
Twitter anymore, so
it's
I don't
on
know.
Russ. Neither do I. I first read it on WrestleZone, and then I saw it across a couple different things on when I was checking Facebook. So it's out there.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to me like you're going to have an odd person out here. If Braun Breaker can't come back, if Braun Breaker comes back, which everything's pointing to him coming back, then it
yeah.
seems pretty obvious that you're going to do. Well, no, it doesn't actually. It doesn't actually. I mean,
Why?
Seth versus Braun, LA Knight versus Brock Lesnar seems obvious, but maybe not. I don't
Could
know.
always reverse it.
Seth versus Brock, LA Knight versus Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
I mean, then yeah, I mean, Seth is probably. I mean, I guess Seth wouldn't care about. I can't. I have trouble with Seth taking a loss. I have no problem with LA Knight taking a loss
because it doesn't
because
hurt
I
LA
don't think
Knight.
I don't think it hurts LA Knight to lose to Brock
Nope.
Lesnar.
No. Whereas Seth, who hasn't, this will probably be his first match back at WrestleMania,
Yeah,
and
I feel like a loss for Seth Rollins on his first match back would really derail him a
yeah,
lot. So like, I mean, I know he's a megastar and he can afford to lose, but it would be like anything else. It would be like anybody coming in and, I don't know. I feel like you basically need to find like an Omos, more or less, like somebody like that. Like I don't want to see LA Knight lose. I really don't because I feel like that's all he does is lose. But I don't know, dude, he's never going to be the champion. Like I feel like I need to just kind of get that out of my head. He's
yeah.
never going to be the champion. I don't even know
For
if
as
he's ever
much
going
as
to
we
be
want him to be,
I don't even know if he's ever going to be the Intercontinental Champion at this point. He held the U.S. title for a hot minute, but I don't even know if truthfully, if they'll even give him the U.S. title or the IC title. So I don't know. I'm all over the place with it. Just honestly, at this point, just tell me a good story. That's kind of like all I really care about.
Honestly, that's all I care about with WrestleMania anyway, is use these matches to tell good stories, to finish feuds, to start feuds, to do something great. You know what I mean? Like the fact I'm kind of disappointed. Did you hear the news that came out that well before they decided to put Orton in the title picture, we were supposed to get Drew and Cody in a Hell in a Cell at Mania,
Hmm.
which
Well, and I mean, there were reports though that like it was going to be. There were reports like we were going to get that five-person match that we were talking about for a while there.
yeah,
So I honestly think that this. To be honest with you, I think that this is better. Like I think that Drew and Jacob is the right match to do, especially if Drew's going to be gone for like 6 months filming Highlander. You need to pay off that story and have Jacob go on to something else. Maybe Jacob can finish his feud with Cody. Maybe Jacob can become the champion, or Jacob
I
can go on and do whatever. And then Sammy and Trick will probably be a match, but I still think, to your point, Sammy may find himself getting involved in the title match.
the main reason I brought that up though is we're what less than 6 weeks out from Mania, and I have to give Terrence a little bit of credit for this, but there's still so much in fluctuation in regards to Mania. Like even just the talk you and I were just having about who Brock faces, what stories you tell.
Well, yeah,
Like
let's stick to Raw for now though,
that's what I
because
mean.
like I don't
So
want to go down the rabbit hole too much of like the SmackDown storylines. We could do
right,
that on our SmackDown review.
I was just using that to make a point.
Yeah, yeah.
My point though is that we're less than 6 weeks out from WrestleMania, and this is probably the first WrestleMania I can think of where there is so much in flux. You know what I mean? By now, most WrestleManias we have some semblance of what almost the entire card is going to look like.
I'm trying to remember back to last year, and I don't remember how much of the card was ready this time frame to WrestleMania. Like I don't think that the main event of the first night, the triple threat, I don't think that that was set yet at this
It
point
was
because that
right.
happened. It was like right around now, but I don't think that that was set yet because I remember they only had like a week or two of them planting the seeds that Paul Heyman was going to turn.
No,
And
but
then similarly, like even the women's match, like Rhea got herself inserted into the match with Bianca and Io pretty late into the game as well. So, you know what I mean? I don't. This is kind of about the time that they've done things the last couple of years, good or bad. I just like they have their main kind of matches that they're going to set up, right? But like I think gone are the days of 6 to 8 month feuds that have a blow off at WrestleMania. I think just those
yeah,
days are gone. People who talk about long-term storytelling and stuff like that, it's like long-term in the sense that like you get little bite-sized things, but like the actual idea of a match, that comes along pretty quick.
you're not wrong, and I kind of miss that. I like the ideas of long-term feuds with actual blow-off matches, which we don't see anymore. It's just, I mean, sometimes we see feuds that last too long, but then WWE forgets how to end them. But
Mm.
let's get back on track here. Went a little bit off the rails there.
Yeah. So next, we saw Bayley become the number one contender to AJ Lee's Women's Intercontinental Championship as she bested Asuka, Ivy Nile, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, and Lyra Valkyria in a number one contenders gauntlet match. Io and Valkyria started off the match, which Io won with an over the moonsault. And then as that happened, a next Raquel came down to the ring to be the second person in the gauntlet match. Excuse me. Shortly, like halfway through that second match, Liv came to the ringside to help interfere. She was chased off by Stephanie Becker, which allowed Io to capitalize to distract Raquel to pick up the win in that match. Raquel obviously went nuts after that happened, causing Ivy Nile to come out as the next contender. She quickly came in and pinned Io. to which brought out Bayley. This was the only, I think, negative part of this entire match to me was that the match between Bayley and Ivy Nile went on too long
Yeah.
because it kind of felt to me like everybody in the crowd knew Ivy Nile wasn't going to win. And Io was also getting a ton of incredible momentum. And I think
Yep.
Io probably should have beat her. And I think Io should have then lost to Asuka coming out next. I think would have been the right way to book this because you're still going to attempt to do that match at some point. And honestly, given that we've seen Io in the background of several Asuka segments on Monday Night Raw, I have a feeling that's probably the direction we're going to go for Io at WrestleMania. At WrestleMania
Yeah.
is a match with her and Asuka. But obviously, this saw Bayley become the number one contender, which I'm fine with. I think this is the right move. I do not think Bayley is going to win unless Becky comes back and costs AJ Lee, which actually might not be a bad thing if
Yeah.
Becky comes back and costs AJ Lee, and then they can have like a blood feud match without the title involved.
Yep. Yeah. You put the use. So about the match, the one big thing I would have changed is I would have switched Ivy Nile to before Lyra. I would have started with Io and Ivy Nile,
Huh.
had her beat Ivy Nile, beat Lyra, beat Raquel, then have Raquel loser shit take out Io, and then have Asuka pin Io and
Yep.
not Ivy Nile, and then have
Yep.
Bayley come in last and get the
Yep.
win. I get that you probably couldn't have done that because of you needed to have Bayley get beat down by Asuka and sort of come back there, but I think it would have looked better for Io with how good of a showing she had. And I get it. You wanted to do the whole Raquel Rodriguez losing her mind kind of thing, but I just think it could have been paced a little bit better. And as far as the match between Bayley and AJ Lee is going to go, I mean, you couldn't pick a better person to put up against AJ Lee. Like Bayley will 100% be able to carry that match. And
1,000%.
I think that you're right. If I'm booking this, I have Becky come out, cost AJ the belt, and then we get Bayley on the WrestleMania card defending the title, and you get AJ Lee versus Becky in some sort of other match. And I think that fills out two more spaces on the WrestleMania card.
Yeah, I mean, you could do you should honestly run Bayley versus Lyra. Like we've been trying to tell this one for a while too. You should run Bayley versus Lyra, and I think putting that IC title in there would be a smart thing because it gets it. Becky doesn't need it anymore, and AJ Lee kind of never needed it.
No,
So I think, yeah, I think getting involved in that kind of class of women, like I love Bayley, she should be at the top of the card, but she's not. So like, I think we need to Becky's feud to be done with AJ Lee. And frankly, I think Becky needs to be back at the top of the card. Becky should
yep,
be competing for the world championship because Becky's their biggest star. And
no.
she needs to be in the world title picture. So
This,
like I think that would add a ton of credibility to that world title if Becky were involved in it.
yeah, this is the perfect time to move Becky back into the title picture.
Yep.
And if I'm booking Bayley versus Lyra at Mania, I have Bayley win and retain. And I think you turn it into a series.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that a one and done between the two of them, because you can start it out as like a friendly thing. And you know what I honestly think I would do is after Bayley won and retained, I think I would turn Lyra heel.
That would be a wild twist, and I think that would be pretty cool.
Like, be like, oh, I supported you through all this. I had your back. I had all this. And then this kind of thing happened, so and so, and she like takes it out on Bayley. I think that would be a fantastic twist that not a whole lot of people would see coming because Lyra
Yeah.
always plays that like happy face person.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Um, by the time we were ready to have the match between our newly crowned Intercontinental Champion, which sounds so nice to say,
Uh,
Penta, he was supposed to have a match with original El Grande Americano, who was unfortunately cursed by Danhausen. And instead we had uh German version of El Grande Americano strut down to the ring for the contest. This was a good back and forth. These guys have really, really good chemistry together. And Penta with that springboard Mexican destroyer just looked like $1 million. And Penta obviously retained in his first title defense, and this was a solid match. And what was surprising about all of this is that ahead of what we thought was going to be a WrestleMania match, they announced that original and secondary El Grande were going to have a match next week, which is interesting to me. Maybe it'll end in some kind of goofiness, uh, because I kind of thought that this match should be on the Mania card. At this point, like you've got 4 weeks, 5 weeks, just put this match on the Mania card. I mean, I don't really have much more to say about the Penta match because it was like it was fine, it was great, but like that was like out of this whole situation, that really surprised me.
So I think that we are going to get the El Grande match on Mania, but I think it's going to be a mask versus mask match. It needs to have some sort of high stakes to it. And with a match like that, I feel like you don't have better high stakes. My only concern, though, is the popularity of the El Grande characters in AAA. They love German El Grande down there, and they love to hate the original El Grande Americano. It
So
is
weird.
crazy to watch both of them in the ring together, or like when they're down there. The booing, it's the complete opposite of what you have here in the US. And
Yeah.
I don't know that WWE is willing to pull the trigger yet on losing those characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not. They could certainly just have them wrestle in Mexico for a while because, like, honestly, what else are you going to do with Ludwig Kaiser, right? Like, it's perfectly fine to have him go and just wrestle in AAA a bunch. And if he's killing it down there and he's not doing much in WWE, go ahead and just have him kill it down there, you know?
You got to give them both those guys credit though for the fact that they're literally doing US and Mexican shows all the time. Just like
Yeah, I mean,
Dom.
yeah, I mean, they like to wrestle, so if you can find ways to get these guys who aren't on TV all the time more TV time or more wrestling time, they're most of these guys are all about it. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Next, we saw an enraged Dominic Mysterio hit the ring, flanked by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, where he called out Finn Balor, blaming him for the loss of his IC title to Penta last week. The which saw Finn flanked by JD McDonough make his way to the ring to have a conversation with Dirty Dom. He told Dom he spent years trying to protect him, but sometimes he needs to learn to fight his own battles. He said that eventually, you know what, Rey Mysterio was right about you, Dom. You are a spoiled little punk. This earned him a cheap shot from Dom, and then the brawl obviously inevitably just came from there. But the betrayal happened when JD McDonough hit a clothesline on Finn
Yep.
Balor, and then they all just beat him down mercilessly. And the Judgment Day ultimately stood tall over their, I guess, like the last person from the original Judgment Day.
Yep. And I think that the thing for me is seeing JD McDonough with the betrayal because he learned from Finn Balor. He is in WWE because of Finn Balor. And
Mhm.
I always thought that when this split happened, he was going to go with Finn. So that kind of caught me off guard and shocked me. I think that the ultimate result of this, though, I think we're going to see the return of the demon. I think you're going to have Finn Balor as the demon versus Dom at Mania. And Finn is already posting cryptic things on the interwebs. Like he posted his thing yesterday. I think he said 1372, which was the exact amount of days that he was in the Judgment Day until the betrayal. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But I am leaning towards I think we're going to see the demon come back.
Mm. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know that that's going to be the match. I don't know if they're gonna do that right away, but maybe.
What bigger stage?
Yeah, I don't know though. I don't know if people like if that kind of thing translates to WrestleMania, truthfully.
Too big, you think?
I don't know if people are gonna care. at WrestleMania, truthfully. I think they're just going to want to see a match. They might save that for Backlash if there's some nonsense at the WrestleMania match.
True. I could see
I
that.
don't know. You might be right. You might be right. I just feel like a lot of the gimmicky stuff they don't tend to do at WrestleMania. But you might be right. I don't know. I don't want to poo-poo your idea. I I feel like they might just do the regular match, have because this is not going to be just one match, right?
No,
And you'll probably save the demon for the very end to end it.
he's going to have to take out McDonough first and then Dom. I could see him costing the women. I mean, we still are missing Roxanne too, who's been part of the Judgment Day. So I'm curious to see where she sides on this when she comes back.
Yeah, I mean, Liv has been wanting to get rid of her for a while, so she could side with Finn. And
Exactly. And
she could
maybe
actually be the one to cost Liv,
yeah,
which I
have
don't know if that's the right thing to do. I think Liv needs to win at WrestleMania, but
then we could get some intergender tag matches. We could get all kinds of fun stuff.
yeah, actually, and honestly, if Stephanie does lose, I feel like it would help Stephanie a lot to become part of a faction.
Yeah,
I really do. Like a faction with her and Finn and Roxanne.
yeah,
I think that would actually help her a lot.
I
So
agree.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We saw Obafemi demolish Rusev. I mean,
Shocking.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. I knew this was going to happen. I don't know what we're doing with Rusev anymore. I mean, Rusev got a little bit of offense in, but I mean, Oba just destroyed him, absolutely destroyed him. Rusev looks like a chump, and it's like it's so. I feel bad for him. It's like he's a jobber. He's a jobber now, and that's such a shame.
I don't
Such a
think
shame.
I don't know that I'd call him a jobber, but I don't think that they're him and Oba are done. I thought he was going to lose to Oba. I didn't expect it to be a glorified squash match though. That basically shocked me. I mean, I he did get a little bit of offense in, but then Oba absolutely just destroyed him at the end. And I have a feeling they're going to go somehow like the route of Rusev not being able to accept the fact that he got demolished by Oba, and he's going to show up. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Oba's first match loss when it happened came because of some sort of shenanigans involving Rusev.
Maybe. I don't know. I just this didn't surprise me at all. Like I very much knew that this was coming just because of how they view Rusev right now, unfortunately.
I just didn't expect a squash. I expected Oba to win, but not quite that handily.
Hmm. So this time, saving the best for last, we saw World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk hit the ring. Um, and he said that Roman Reigns has never respected him, but he will make him respect him at WrestleMania. And I mean, this was the like the crowd was hot for this segment. Like this was the hottest the crowd was for the entire show. And
Yep.
he was about to make mention of what he said about Roman's father last week, but the Usos were talking to the backstage reporter a little bit earlier in the evening, where they basically were like, you know what, we do have some stuff to say to Punk about what he said last week. So the Usos came in, cut him off, and I got to tell you, this is the best the Usos have looked in forever. Like they
Yeah.
were not the same one-line characters that they are. Like they were back to like their old, bloodline days of like really being three-dimensional characters, which was awesome. And they cut him off, demanded an apology, and this just kind of remained the theme for the rest of the promo. And it was a great, fantastic promo. And the one thing that I really enjoyed that Punk did during this promo was basically be like, "Look, I'm sorry that Roman's basically a piece of garbage, and he's treated everybody like garbage, and he's never apologized to anybody." And Punk is the only person who's called out Roman for being like,
Yep.
"Yo, you haven't apologized to anybody. Like you're pretending to be a face, but like." You've never apologized for what you did to these guys. And ultimately, he added one last jab by calling the Usos, quote, young boys, before kind of smacking the microphone into Jimmy, which got him a cheap shot. And ultimately, the Usos knocked him down. And kind of got out of the ring, and Punk was just kind of like looking at them disappointed as the show closed out.
Real curious to see where this goes with the two of them. I know Roman's supposed to be there on Monday, so no doubt he's going to have some interaction with the two of them. Probably he's going to chew them out for not doing enough to Punk because that's
I think he's just gonna gaslight him. I think he's just gonna
100. That's
gaslight
what I
him.
mean.
Yeah,
He's gonna be like you guys should have done more. You guys didn't defend the family, and
yeah.
I think what it's doing is it's a real interesting way that WWE is utilizing Punk to sort of turn Roman heel without Roman actually doing anything. You know what I mean? Because Roman's been treated like a face since the basically the end of the bloodline. And he teamed up with Cody and all that. And so he's been more face than heel. And I think it's real cool to see that for somebody who's not even there, we're seeing character work like that being done.
Yeah, it's really very fascinating. And I couldn't get enough of this promo. This was the best part of the whole show.
Oh yeah. The young boys dig was quite the shot. And I really love the way he kept starting to like apologize and then turning it into something about Roman. And
Mhm.
you could see I'm very curious how much of this is real life because we all know the Samoans are in fact emotional people.
Mhm.
And I'm really curious how much of this anger and rage the Usos actually have towards Punk involving the whole family like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It is interesting to think about.
And I'm much looking forward to Roman on Monday.
Yeah. And Brock.
Yeah. I think Roman's segment will 100% be the more must watch, but the Brock one will, of course, be interesting to see if anybody comes out yet.
Yeah, for sure. So so that was Monday Night Raw. There were a couple other backstage segments that really weren't very relevant, but yeah, overall solid show. I very much enjoyed it. But what is your final rating for the show?
Road to WrestleMania, 3.5 at risk of being cursed. I'll give it at that above average and say that I'm definitely a fanhausen. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that this was a good show. Not there were some spots that were really strong. There were some spots that were really weak. WWE always does a good job with gauntlet matches, so I did very much I did very much enjoy that. So I think my final rating for the show is a cut a cut a promo in your native language out of 5.
very nice.
So that is our show, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you getting pumped for the road to WrestleMania here? We got about a month and a week until the showcase of the Immortals. So very curious to hear what you guys think. We do read and respond to all of your comments. And with that, I have been Mike, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. Have yourselves a fantastic evening. Thank you so much, and take care.